brought the Christmas decorations last night, and then with others that were here. It's really beautiful. I just love Christmas. And usually I've got these Christmas jokes, and there's one Christmas joke I just love to tell, but it's a little, I'm not sure if I should or not, so I'm not going to. But anyways, maybe next week or something. I really have to ask the pastor about that one. Thank you, Jennifer, for your prayer. It's very beautiful. It's so nice, isn't it, when the young people come up and pray and do different things. It's just, I'm so inspired. I just get, my little heart just starts going, you know, makes me happy. And the praise team. I can never say enough about them, and not me, but for them, because they work so very hard. I know this, today's song suite, they worked, and they even didn't get to come over to the regular service over there because it wasn't right, and they wanted it right. So please let them know, not me, them, how much you appreciate them. So today's message... I hope it doesn't go on too long. So it is. We're going to talk about the heart of God. Isn't that special? And, you know, the heart of God is two hearts because God is our Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Mother. So them together becomes our heavenly parents. And so today we want to talk about the heart of God because it's really, really important. More specifically, we're going to talk about his heart of joy at the time of creation. You know, when you read the divine principle, we find it to be an amazing account of God's providence, correct? With many secrets that were revealed, giving us an understanding about what God's creation was about, his purpose, what he had hoped for each of us, and what happened in the fall, and then what God's been doing about it all these years that have gone on by. So this gives us actually the structure to follow and attend our true parents, a Jew, right? And as we read the divine principle, it says, if we are created in such a way that we cannot live apart from God, then surely our ignorance of God consigns us to walk miserable paths. Is that true? You know, it's really hard sometimes if you don't really feel God's heart to really connect. So knowing God's heart is important. So can we really say that we know clearly the reality of God? I mean, is it really firm in each of your hearts and your minds? Pretty solid now, right? But can we ever grasp the heart of God? It's not an easy thing to do. God's heart is so big. The divine principle goes on to say in the introduction, the new expression of truth should be able to reveal the heart of God, his heart of joy at the time of creation, the broken heart he felt when humankind, his children whom he could not abandon, rebelled against him, and his heart striving to save them throughout the long course of history. You know, I got to tell you, I'm just really so blessed to get to assist Reverend Compton in his workshops. And by the way, I've stolen some of his examples. Thank you very much. But you know, I never really thought about this point, the three hearts of God. Did you? Do you think? I mean, we think about God's broken heart, right? That's what we think about because we know from divine principle that God has been in anguish since the fall, which you'll hear about the next few Sundays. But sometimes we skip that joyous heart of God, that happy heart of God, or that heart before the fall. So, if we could ever hope to become true sons and daughters of God, we really need to understand the heart of God. So today we're going to explore this heart of joy at the creation. Aha. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And that was good. And then there was a firmament. And God said, "Let there be grass and herbs and animals and man." And you know, when you read this, you kind of get that feeling that God is this big, powerful, almighty God, right? And he goes, bam, let there be light. Bam, let there be grass. Bam. You know what I mean? Isn't that? And most people have that thought that God just, bam, right? Whew. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? However, you know, science has kind of delved into this, and there seems to be a little bit other things to think about. So I want to just show a brief understanding of what probably really happened, if it works. Bam! Bam! I don't know if it exactly looked like that, but gives you the illusion, right? Atoms and molecules, expansion, movement. It only goes on for about 30 minutes. Grass and herbs. somehow I just don't think it was bam, bam, right? I'm not sure if you know this, but the universe is 13.8 billion years old. 13.8 billion years old. And the current observable universe has a diameter of 92 billion light years. That's the observable. I mean, it's infinite, but the observable. And 1 light year equals 6 trillion miles. So just put things in perspective, sort of, is from here to the moon is 1.2 seconds, light seconds. So let's kind of narrow this down a bit because it all sounds overwhelming to me. The Earth's age is 4.5 billion years old. So after investing for 10 billion years on the universe, he started working on the Earth and all things, including mankind. So again, this seems really overwhelming, and we think, geez, God was really working hard for a long time, right? So even if you go by verse 2 Peter 3:8, where he said, with the Lord, 1 day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is 1 day. I think we're still up to about 14 million years of God's investment to bring about this creation, this universe. So I really think we need to look at a few things to understand God's heart. And I think first we need to look at God's purpose and motivation. God's created in heaven and earth was not aimed primarily at sustaining life. It was to realize the ideal of love. So why did God create heaven and earth? God wanted to love and be loved. Although he is an absolute being, he cannot feel joy all alone. No matter how much of an absolute being he is, saying, I am the absolute being, the master of love, the master of life, while he is alone, he cannot feel the stimulation of love. God cannot feel the stimulation of life. And that makes him sense that heaven and earth are within his own body. So this is kind of a major statement here. Because, again, we think God is almighty and God feels and touches and, everything. But these are true parents' words, and he doesn't feel these things. Because God would feel these things through you and you and you and you and you and you and you. This is how God would connect to this creation. God would feel these things and experience these things. He would experience love. He would feel the joy and the beauty through each one of us. So God's his hands are a little tied there in some ways. So it's only through mankind that God can realize his purpose of creation and experience joy through a love partner. God's looking for a love partner. Anybody volunteer? Yeah, I'm ready. Please. Creation starts with investing oneself. According to the principle that a perfect object partner comes only through total investment. So think about this. If you want a perfect object, you have to give 100% investment into that object. God is the subject partner. He completely invested himself into making his object partner, which is this universe. So God's ideal and purpose of creation is fulfilled in the 3 blessings. The family is where God's love is substantiated, and we would become God's body, and he could experience life, love, and the creation through us, right? So God had a plan. He had a desire and a plan to create. He was very motivated. And the framework for the universe and mankind was put into place before the actual creation began. The idea came and thought was put in to make the plan, and then put into the physical and the spiritual laws. God envisioned mankind first. And then he built the creation and all things. So God envisioned his ultimate love partner, where God would dwell inside of. When Adam and Eve became one, centered upon God, in mind and body, that would be God's body. God would dwell in there. And then when God's getting ready to eat the apple there, a real apple, or touch a tree, or look at the animals, God would experience that beautiful creation that he created through Adam and Eve, or mankind, or you, or you, or you. So, how much do you think God invested to do this? Scientists say that the universe is made of energy and that it originated from energy. However, energy just doesn't turn into things. There has to be an initiator. There has to be somebody that initiates this subject-object relationship to start with energy and build the particles and atoms and molecules, and et cetera, et cetera. So it requires this investment of energy. And creation requires giving out energy. God invested himself. And we try to wonder, how much did he invest? Well, he poured out his true life, his true love, and true ideals. We do not love something unless we have worked hard and invested our flesh and blood into it. As an example, it's somebody's birthday. So you take a piece of paper, happy birthday. Wow. Do you feel loved? Do you feel loved? Not really. However, you take the card and you handwrite a beautiful poem and draw flowers and birthday cakes with the candles and the little hearts with I love you on it, right? And then you put the little glitters on there and the little string on there, and you build it up, and you put a lot of effort. When you give that something, then do you feel love? I think so. Love, and the feeling of love, comes through investment. It isn't just something that casually happens. And God, in creating the universe and God creating creation in us, it was the same. He gave 100% into us, 120%. He gave everything so we would be that perfect love object. It takes complete investment to have the perfect love object. And God's really serious about this because he's in the middle of it. God's purpose, spending billions of years to create these things because he wanted it perfect, so this could be the perfect harmonious relationship of love. Because the lover has the power to more than fill up any void, after expending and investing himself, God gained love in return. True love does not become smaller as it's invested, but grows bigger and bigger the more it moves. True love grows bigger and bigger the more it's invested. God put his energy into creating all things. He invested everything and gave still more. So a little side note here, and some of this, as you probably can figure, I'm paraphrasing from reading Chansangang, Two Fathers' words. But if you invest 100 units of love, Father says, 120 will come back. So when we're trying to invest in things, our families, in our church, in our community, in our spiritual lives, helping God and reaching out to mankind, living for the sake of others. As we're trying to do that, sometimes we think, wow, I really want to do this, but oh God, I'm really tired. Or I got this to do and that. But if we can expel that energy and put in that 100%, because it's love, love comes back 120%. So you don't become depleted. You don't become tired. If you're living for the sake of God, one with God in heart, you're not tired. Did you ever see Reverend Moon tired? I never did. I all day, all night, and he's still going strong. Because he has the love of God in him. He's given and given and given, and he's filled. So God created the world in order to realize love. He created the universe so that he could rejoice over people and all things as they became one, centering on his love and making a harmonious world of love. In doing so, he could rejoice over people as they became true husband and wives, centering on God's love. Creating families, tribes, races, and a world, one family under God, right? This is God's ideal of creation. This is what God went through for millions and billions of years in creating this universe and this really beautiful place for us. So, what is the heart of joy in God's heart? Boundless excitement. Oh boy, I've got a plan. I'm going to create man. I'm going to create the universe. Oh boy, right? Boundless excitement. His eyes were so big as he looked and thought, oh, this is going to be so wonderful. What a great idea. Had incredible hope. The heart of God at the creation was so much hope as he thought about, wow, one day I'm going to be part of that creation. I'm going to be part of their lives. I'm going to be involved in everything they do. It's going to be so awesome. He had this hope and dreamed and vision. Immeasurable joy. God's heart was immeasurable joy. Now, not everybody's a parent in here, but think about it. When you were, those of you that do have children, when your children were coming, didn't you do all the little things? You know, buy honey, some ice cream, pickles, right? Did you make the room, put the crib in there? Did you get one of those little hangers you wound up and go, did you do that? Right? Did you go out and buy baby clothes, right? And wasn't it just this happiness, this immeasurable joy as you planned, thinking of names? Shall it be Gregg? Shall it be Frank? Shall it be Michael? Shall it be... Right? You think about these things, you talk about them. It's just a major topic. It's a immeasurable joy. It's happiness, right? Patience and persistence. Well, we can see the persistence because God never gives up. But in patience and persistence, as he's anticipating this, I'm not sure. So this is just me thinking here. I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but I got to say it. Maybe along the way, as God's creating this, a little bit was trial and error. Did you think, though? I mean, do you think God really created a mosquito? Would he? Did he? I don't know. I mean, what about dinosaurs? I mean, well, what do you think? We had all these great big dinosaurs, right, all over the world, and all of a sudden, bam, they're gone. Bam, right? I don't know. Maybe he knew about oil. Probably he did. I don't know. But, he had patience to work with each thing as he was creating and go, oh, if I take this and I move this with this and I add energy, then I get this. Ah, that's beautiful. Or, ooh, that's kind of weird. Maybe a little frustration. This one really, as I was reading last night again, when God was creating, as he was looking, don't you think like when he created a kitten, he wanted to pick the kitten up, right? And rub his little head, neck, then they go, prrrr. Don't you think God wanted to do that? Or touch his paws, those little nails that zip come out and for catching mice, right? Don't you think God wanted to do that? I mean, I know there's many talented and creative people here, and I know you create and build things. And don't you have that anticipation you want to touch and be involved and be in the middle of it? But God was waiting for us to do that. So a little frustration. So God, according to Father, before the creation, God really wasn't living for the sake of others. I mean, he was building things. But after the first initial energy coming together, then God started living for the sake of others, for a higher purpose. And each thing was built to become a higher purpose. So God definitely has a heart of true love and living for the sake of others. God had the heart of parents. This is before the fall. So God watched his babies grow. And how much of it was so beautiful as God watched them play in this beautiful Garden of Eden, right? And the beautiful trees and the grass and the flowers and the birds. And Adam was probably running around, oh, look at there, that's a giraffe. And that's a, and Eve was, I don't know, who knows what she was probably helping in different things. We don't know for sure when they were younger. But we do know that God is our parent, and God loved them very much. And God's heart was just so much a parent's heart in thinking about his children, making sure they were okay, and they had food to eat, and they had things to play with and do. God had that really incredible parental heart. But that's not all. When you think about God's heart, how big is God's heart? How big is the universe, right? That's big. A starry night. This could be Lake Mead there or something, the beautiful stars out in the beautiful night. It's God's heart expressed in the creation. I'm ready for a vacation. That would work. The beautiful waves and trees and the sunsets. It's so funny listening to Reverend Compton when we're coming back from Grand Canyon. We'll be watching a sunset. He'll go, uh-oh, God's showing off again, right? Because they're magnificent. They're so beautiful. They're so awe-inspiring. This is God's heart he's projecting to each one of us. The little creatures he made. If you took one of these and looked at it under a microscope, you'd probably be amazed. They're just the intricacy of the way they're formed and how they work. It's just amazing. God's heart. The colors. God's beautiful colors in his heart that is expanding out. His love and beauty expressed in this creation. That God's heart for us. Chickens and kittens. Sounds like cat food. Chickens and kittens. No, it's, the animals probably would have gotten along much better had we not gotten involved. But, so cute. Like I said, God just probably wanted to play with his paws. This is God's heart. Love. God was trying to teach us love through the creation. If you look at the creation, you see the way the animals and the plants, it's male and female, and they love, and they do different. There's different things they do in this love. Some are dances and sounds and all these beautiful things that God was. This is hard expressed in this creation for us, to teach us, to bring us up, to raise us, to show us his heart. Fishes, colors, big whales. But really, this is God's heart. The family, 3 generations, taking care of each other, loving. This is God's heart. So can you imagine the ecstasy of God at the time of creation? I think you can. God loves us, and God really wants to express that heart to us. So much.
it comes. Take these tainted hands, wash me in your love. Come like grace again. Even when my strength is lost, I'll praise you. Even when I have no song, I'll praise you. Even when it's hard to find the words louder than I'll sing your praise. I will only sing your praise. Take this mountain away. Take this ocean's tear. Hold me through the trials. Come like hope again. Even when I fight since lost, I'll praise you. Even when it hurts like hell, I'll praise you. Even when it makes no sense to sing louder than I see your praise. Oh, I would only sing your praise. Ooh, I would only sing your praise. Oh, I would only sing your praise. I would only sing your praise. And my heart burns only for you. You were all I want. And my soul waits only for you. And I will sing till the morning has come. Though my heart burns only for you, you were all I want. And my soul waits only for you, and I will sing till the miracle comes. Yeah, I will only sing your praise. I will only sing your praise. Oh, I will only sing your praise. Even when the morning comes, I'll praise you. Even when the fight is won, I'll praise you. Even when my time on earth is done, louder than I'll sing your praise. I will only sing your praise.